Hi guys, welcome back to mmRADIO, and it's me, Murphy's Top 10s, and unfortunately Milo is in the hospital because there is a knife in his chest. However, he will call out from the other side of the country in the hospital to say a hi to you for mmRADIO.
Milo! Yeah? I'm here. I'm right here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Great to hear! Anyway, I'm gonna go fetch him from the hospital. We don't actually want him there, we want him to die painfully, so I'm just gonna go get him. Hey Milo, get up, we're gonna record our podcast now.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Anyway, how does it feel to have a knife in your chest, Milo?
Well, it actually got removed, but it was very, very painful.
Oh, really? So, before the knife was in your chest, there was a bird, right? Remember?
Yeah, there was actually a bird.
Yeah, there was. And did you, enjoy the bird sighting while it lasted?
I thought it was a really, really interesting bird. It was blue, and it had red eyes.
Right, okay. That sounds terrifying. I actually didn't see the red eyes, but, anyway, I'm so glad we took this time to talk about the bird incident and the knife. But, yeah, without further ado, shall we start the topic of our podcast?
Anyway, about what we're doing for the podcast, we are doing a speculation/duel where we pit Ganondorf versus Steve.
Ganondorf from The Legend of Zelda and Steve from Minecraft. And we are going to be, as he just said, speculating a duel. So, are you ready to start that?
Yes, I am.
First of all, we're going to be deciding the scenery. And Milo, as usual, we are going to actually not be picking a giant field, but rather a giant, how do I explain this? Like a giant empty Walmart, just with absolutely no one inside. Just like a full-on Walmart. There are stocked shelves with things inside, so anything you can find in Walmart is just there for you. How does that sound, Milo? You like the idea?
I think that is a great idea, but there is also currently Godzilla attacking the Walmart.
Really?
Yes.
That is, of course, and the one... Okay.
Got the Godzilla.
Steve and Ganondorf will have to dodge the Godzilla attacks as they are in the Walmart. So yeah, this is gonna work out fine. So, are you ready to start the battle, Milo?
Well, before we start the battle, our viewers need to know that this speculation does not determine who actually wins. So we will decide later in the podcast who will win using the Marvel Power Grid.
Right, okay. Without further ado, fight! Now.
Yeah, wait,
What?
you said now this
Yeah,
time.
but I thought you were gonna say it again.
Well, I'm really confused, man. I thought,
So here we are. Picture this. In an empty Walmart with Godzilla attacking from outside, shooting laser beams or whatever the hell Godzilla does. I haven't watched the movies. And right inside are Ganondorf from The Legend of Zelda and Steve from Minecraft facing it off for absolutely no reason, just because they feel like it. And I'm gonna say Steve makes the first move here.
Yeah, so Steve is going to pull out a bow and arrow and shoot Ganondorf right in the forehead.
Ganondorf takes the shot, but because he is just a built different, the arrow kind of just bounces off his forehead. Steve didn't shoot the arrow hard enough.
Steve shoots another arrow.
This one actually kind of hurt though. This one kind of hurt. So Ganon is now going to run at him, and for his first form, turn into none other than Twilight Princess Ganon, which is just not like Pig Ganon yet, just regular human Ganon from Twilight Princess. And he is going to beat the crap out of Steve Minecraft with his fist.
Steve shoots an arrow and then pulls out his sword, blocking every single attack.
Ganon is very, very confused by this and decides to do a Warlock Punch to try and counter Steve's counter.
Steve's shield instantly breaks. Steve is scared, so then he shoots an arrow
Again?
at Ganon on his forehead.
You know, he has like a jewel stone right there. He's just gonna break the jewel stone. Luckily for Ganon, he still has a jewel stone right there, which Milo is probably not aware of. And it kind of just cracks, and then Ganon just like puts on his gaming headset and goes into gamer mode. Then transforms into Beast Ganon from Twilight Princess, just because he feels like the fight isn't that interesting yet. So he's big guy now, and he just runs at Steve before being interrupted by Godzilla's laser beam eyes that just obliterate him and Steve, and now they are both very injured on the floor.
So Steve, he is going to drink a strength potion plus a regen potion. He is up, back on his feet. He smiles with his weird little pixelate smile. He pulls out a netherite sword, and then he slashes Ganon across the throat.
Ganon felt that one. Thankfully for Ganondorf, this whole time there was actually Joe the Hot Dog Man right there in the Walmart watching the two fight. And just before Steve could slash Ganon on the throat, Joe the Hot Dog Man jumped in the way and got murdered by Steve.
Hey, guess what? To that netherite sword, there was actually an arrow attack.
What does that mean?
And that arrow...
How do you can't do that!
with rope. And that arrow...
With rope? There isn't rope in Minecraft!
Actually had a piercing 3 on it.
What do you
So
mean?
it goes through Joe the Hot Dog Man.
Oh, hell
and
no!
shoots Ganon.
So Ganon has been stabbed. He's now on the floor. He decides that it is about time to transform into his next form. Next up is Ocarina of Time Ganon. Ocarina of Time Ganon is basically just a guy who can fly and is really good at playing the piano. So first he grabs his piano and starts jamming out to a bobby tune, and Steve starts dancing. After this, he then gets up into the air and starts flying before sending a huge fireball attack straight towards Steve.
Yeah, the Bobby Toon. Steve is still dancing, but then he realized that the fireball is coming to him. He takes it like a champ. He has first degree burns all over his body, but Steve keeps on going like a champ. He activates his Elytra, and then he just tackles Ganon in the chest into, guess what?
What?
The chainsaw section of Walmart.
Not the chainsaw part of Walmart, no! So they just get tossed between all the fruit barrels, all the fruit goes everywhere, all the Roombas have been set on and are now roaming freely in the wild. All of them got stepped on and killed by Godzilla. But now they have passed through all the aisles and are in the chainsaw aisle. Ganon grabs a chainsaw, turns it on, and walks over slowly to Steve's head and starts drilling down on him.
So what you don't know is that Steve actually pulls out a shulker box and then blocks the attack by trapping Ganon's chainsaw into the shulker box. After this, he throws the shulker box back at Ganon, and then the chainsaw just flies into his chest.
Ouch. That was painful. He is, now without heart. However, the thing is, Ganon never really had a heart, and transforms into Ocarina of Time Beast Ganon. This is like the other Ocarina of Time Ganon.
So, Steve, he's kind of suspicious of this guy. So what he does is that he places down a Ender Dragon.
What?
Spawn egg.
What? What do you mean?
An Ender Dragon spawn egg, and he spawns the Ender Dragon.
What? How? How though?
He just has it. He's using cheat codes.
He's using cheat codes. Luckily for Ganon, he has dealt with lots of dragons in his time, and by that I mean probably about 2. So first of all, he knows from Ocarina of Time the best way to kill a dragon is to hammer his head with a large hammer, just like what he did for the one who ate Gorons, except he was actually on that one's side, so this might not be as easy. But he kind of just jumps into the air and grabs a Warlock hammer and just hammers the Ender Dragon's head, and then, beats the crap out of him.
So while Ganon is struggling to hammer the Ender Dragon's skull in, Steve is actually exploring the Walmart, and he is currently doing something. Ganon doesn't know what he's doing, but he's setting up some sort of master sort of trap or plan.
Ganon finishes off the Ender Dragon and gets the End achievement. He actually got Diamond Armor as well. So, he starts to explore the Walmart looking for where Steve has gone.
So, as he is exploring the Walmart, he stumbles upon and then he gets covered up in gallons and gallons of dog food.
There are no dogs in sight, right, Milo?
100,000 dogs that Steve has tamed just pounce on Ganon and start mauling.
What do you mean? 100,000 dogs?
Yes!
What? Okay. Ganon is getting violated by the dogs. He starts slashing them all up into bits and eating their meat in front of Steve.
Steve doesn't really care about this. He has no emotional attachments to anything. But he starts building upwards with some blocks.
Ganon cannot climb and tower these blocks, even with him being probably like 10 feet tall at this point. So he starts to... Wait, what's he building with? Walmart blocks?
Like dirt.
So he starts to search Walmart for anything that he could help him. And luckily for Ganon, he managed to find the Fire Rocket Aisle, which is an aisle, hear me out, but unluckily for Ganon, Godzilla comes over and lights one of the fireworks, and then Ganon flies up into and out of the roof of Walmart into the sky and comes crashing down like a fireball into Walmart.
So Steve, he's like,
oh no, this might be the end for me.
But then he pulls out an Ender Pearl, throws it really, really far upwards, and then he is now falling with Ganon, not besides, but like above him, and he's slowly catching up. And Ganon is seeing that he's holding some sort of stick with some sort of block attached to it.
Oh no. Oh, I haven't played the new update, but I know what that is. So it appears that Steve has acquired himself a mace. A mace is an item that the further you fall from and hit an enemy, the more damage it does. Which is probably why they're falling 10,000 feet out of a Walmart onto the floor. Ganon doesn't want to get hit by this because he'll know it will be over. So quickly, he decides that it's time to unleash his most powerful form yet. Demon King Ganondorf, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. As he does this, it starts materializing on his forehead, a secret stone, and he eats it. And Steve witnesses him transforming into the Demon Dragon. Now, Steve has fought a dragon before. I think there was like a scrapped nether one as well. But now it is his turn to fight for basically his life.
So Steve clocks the dragon in the head. It does lots of damage, but he's not dead. And the mace just instantly breaks. But he's still been, like, wounded.
Demon King Ganondorf eats him. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he just eats Steve.
Man, why in all of these duels does it always involve a character eating some sort of, like, attack?
It has happened before, you're right.
Yeah, it's very strange. But Steve is inside, this dragon. So what he does is that he pulls out maybe just a couple stacks of TNT.
Oh, no.
And he plants about 64 kilos worth of TNT.
Ouch.
And then he pulls out a totem of undying, and then he lights the TNT.
You might not know this, Milo. At the end of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, when Ganon dies, there's like a huge nuclear explosion, and no one knows why, but this is why. So Ganon just gets absolutely torn apart, and like his whole this thingo he has going on gets absolutely destroyed.
Does he have any more forms?
I mean, yeah, but like his heart isn't working.
Good point. Steve lands safely on the Walmart. He starts eating the remains of the dead wolves, and then he just has some nice dreams because there are no monsters nearby now.
But unluckily for Steve, what happens is it seems Godzilla has left. Godzilla's doing his own thing. However, Joe the hot dog man sneaks up behind him. Joe the hot dog man never died. He can't die. He's immortal. He sneaks up behind Steve and absolutely obliterates him with the sausage.
Okay, well, I guess Joe the hot dog man wins the speculation. That's the speculation. We're gonna run the stats now and decide who actually wins. Steve had really, really good stats all around, with his highest stat being his damage stat. The reason why his damage stat is 7, because we learned he can actually hold 3 billion tons.
Yeah, we searched it up. 10 billion pounds.
Quite a lot.
His other stats included intelligence being 5 as a genius, strength being 7 because he is basically God, and his final stat ended out as 31. Ganon, on the other hand, started out similar with an intelligence of 5, a strength of 3, and all those others, but his highest seemed to be a 6 for damage, which also was the same for energy projection. And he actually got a higher stat though, at 33. However, we need to give the extra point for what the AI says. So let's move on to that segment, shall we?
Yes.
Alright, here we are. We are currently typing in the names for the AI. Steve Minecraft versus Ganondorf, Tears of the Kingdom. Let's see. Send. This is a really tough one. Steve from Minecraft is incredibly powerful and has access to a huge range of abilities to his crafting and building. On the other hand, Ganon from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is a fearsome villain who is capable of taking down entire civilizations. He has a wide range of abilities such as teleportation, energy blast, and immense strength. While Steve has an edge thanks to his ability to craft and build, I think Ganon would ultimately come out on top thanks to his sheer power and ruthlessness. That's interesting, man.
So the AI decided Ganondorf would beat Steve. So the AI was actually correct.
That extra point to Ganon, making his stat of 34 and Steve's a 31. So Milo, what do you think of the results? I was not actually expecting that.
I thought Steve would win just because he can lift up 30,000 pounds.
Yeah,
something.
we actually did actually predict correctly for the speculation fight, that with Steve wanted that, but the stats say otherwise.
Yes, it is very, very interesting.
If you think about it, Ganondorf from the Tears of the Kingdom is probably the most powerful one, since as he is probably the oldest, or maybe the second oldest out of all of them. And basically, for a very, very, very long time, he has been a very, very bad guy. So Steve, I don't know how old he is or when Minecraft took place, but he's not winning.
Well, that's all we have today. Hope you enjoy the podcast and make sure to subscribe, subscribers.
Yep, make sure to subscribe to mmRADIO, the YouTube channel. Make sure to follow on Spotify. Make sure to subscribe to Murphy TT and the Real Milo Can. And I hope you'll have a good day. Say bye, Milo.
Bye. Oh my god, it's the bird again.
Oh yeah, it is Milo.
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 Damn it.
There's an axe now.
What the